Hey guys, welcome to this CyberSpeak video where I'll be walking you through how to find cybersecurity jobs on the Hiring Cafe platform using this guide I've created. So if you want to access this guide, you can find it inside the CyberSpeak community. I have linked it in the description below. Once you join the community, you will find this guide under the playbook module. So once you're on the guide, you can follow along. So starting from the very top, what is Hiring Cafe? Um, Much like Indeed and LinkedIn Jobs, it's another job board that does a much better job of being a job board. And here are the top reasons of how it does that. So first and foremost, it is still free to use with no paywalls, which means you get access to all the features. It has a lot of really good filters and it refreshes multiple times in a day. So you get a lot of fresh job posts. Secondly, the way it finds jobs is through automated processes, where it crawls the web for job postings directly from company career pages. So the job posts aren't posted by employers or recruiter companies. This is all automated directly from the company pages. Thirdly, and best of all, there's almost no fake jobs on the platform. And in the rare cases you do find them, you can always report them and have them removed. So it's a very clean and effective platform. And if used correctly, this can dramatically improve your job search efficiency. So let's go through the main steps now. So first and foremost, before you get started on your applying journey, I highly recommend having 5 or more tailored versions of your resume. Especially in cybersecurity, because there are a lot of subdomains like SOC, which is blue team, and GRC, cloud, identity and access management, pen testing, even like sysadmin. So because there are so many subdomains, it's a good idea to have a few tailored versions so you're not constantly modifying your resume for every role you apply to. And this makes your application process much smoother. Next, you also want to make sure all your resume versions are ATS friendly because most employers use a automated resume screening system these days, and you don't want to be auto rejected. You want to make it through that process, and ATS friendly resumes is the way to do it. Now, if you're still creating, if you want to create really good resumes, I highly recommend going through the resume positioning folder over here. There's tons of really good resources in that to help you make good resumes. Next, you want to go ahead and create your Hiring Cafe account. So to apply and track your job applications, you can do it all on the Hiring Cafe platform. So you can use this link. It's going to take you to hiring.cafe. And this is the platform that we'll be using to apply to jobs. So once you create your account, you'll gain access to the platform. Um, Next up, we want to start using the filters. So I've created a main cybersecurity jobs filter over here. As you can see, it's a super long link. So let's have a quick look through it. So you can see all the filters on the top here that I've actually gone through and made some pre-selections. And after having done all that, you can see as of right now, there are over 700 jobs um, across 439 companies. So yeah, tons of jobs to apply to. And let's see what filters I've used. You can always modify them based on your own preferences. So first and foremost, I've actually, for locations, To throw a wide net, I'm actually saying I'm open to relocation. So I'm saying I'm open to both the US and Canada. This actually gives me a lot of freedom to apply to a lot of jobs. If you do, in your case, if you are more restricted, feel free to change this to your local metro city, and you'll still get a fair good number of jobs. But if you want access to more jobs, I highly recommend being flexible to relocation. Next, when it comes to salary, I would highly recommend having a minimum. I think 80,000 is very reasonable to have as your minimum. And if you want, you can hide jobs without the undisclosed salaries, but I think that gets rid of a lot of jobs. So it goes down to 331. So in my case, I'm going to leave it open. Next, for the commitment, typically I think most people would be in these three as well. But if you are new to cybersecurity, feel free to add internship as well. Next, for the experience, I would select all these three and the individual contributor. If you are a more senior level individual, feel free to select this and people manager roles as well. Um, oh, Next, for job titles, I've actually kept it simple. I've ignored these two for now and just added cybersecurity in the job description. So once again, I'm throwing a wide net out there to get as many cybersecurity jobs as possible. But in your case, if you want to be more specific, I have actually created these Boolean um, Boolean conditions for you guys. So you can copy this whole thing and then you can paste it in here for the job titles, and then you can do the same for the technical terms. So in that way, you can narrow it down to the exact job titles you want and exact skills that you have. But for the purposes of this video, I'll stick to just the cybersecurity term for now. Then for education, I do not want to be competing with master's and doctorate degrees, so I've excluded them. Um, for languages, English makes the most sense. For shifts and schedule, I've kept everything the same, but I have selected none on the on-call because I don't want that. For travel requirements, I've also selected none because I don't want to be doing extra travels. And that's about it. That's actually all the filters. And once you do that, you'll get just over 700 jobs over the past week. Then down here, you do have some more filters slash sorts. So you can also sort by salary, experience, and so forth. I'm just gonna keep it to relevance. Now, most of the time, you do wanna apply to either in the past 24 hours or 3 days. But because right now it's late Sunday night, I'm actually sticking to either 1 week or 3 days. So for 1 week, we're getting 700 jobs. For 3 days, it goes down to 300, which is still pretty good. So let's go with 3 days for now. And then you can also select between all kinds of application forms or simple application forms. On this platform, because you're applying directly to companies and because these are quality jobs, I highly recommend sticking to all forms because these will be worth your while. Then over here, you can exclude the saved jobs, applied, and viewed just because you don't need to see them again. One interesting thing Hiring Cafe does have, I think they just recently added this. It's called the degen mode. You can see what jobs they have filtered out. So if you if you're curious, you can see, these are few jobs that they have actually taken the time to filter out because they're like, recruiting agencies and so forth. So if you're curious. Um, but going back here, now you can see we have narrowed down our search all the way down to 200 jobs. And now we can take some time to actually go through them and see which one of these makes sense and which one of these are good jobs. So to go through them, you can simply select them, whichever one looks good. Then you can overview the general information here, what skills are mentioned, what are some requirements. You can also see the company information, how big the company is, and the general job description over here. Now, if it still seems interesting to you, you can click on Apply Job and apply to the job the normal way. Click Apply, go through, upload your resume, fill out the information, and submit your application. Then you want to go back here and you want to hit yes to the applied so you can track your job on the tracker. So I'm going to hit yes over here and it's going to be added to my tracker. So to access my tracker now, I'm going to go on the save jobs here. And you can see in this new tab, this is where my tracker exists and save searches exist. So um, I haven't saved any jobs yet, but this is where they would show up. And this is where my applied job showed up. Earlier, just a few hours ago, I was checking out this knock role. And right now, we just added the IT specialist role. So as you apply, you want to keep adding to this list and tracking these jobs over the next few weeks. Then if you do proceed to the interviewing stage, or if for whatever reason the job has been rejected, you can update these as well. Having said that, while we are here, you also want to create multiple saved searches. So the one I have linked here, when you open this one, I would recommend clicking this green button over here to save that as a search. So that you can frequently go on this search every day when you're applying, so that it's very quick. And you can create multiple versions of your searches so that, if you're applying for different variety of jobs, it's very easy to do so. So that's a nice trick. Um, I think those are the main things on the platform. So once again, to review what we just discussed, you want to review the filters. You want to start applying to jobs. As you apply to them, you want to hit applied so that you can track them. And you want to use saved searches to apply easily. So that's a quick rundown of the platform and the workflow. So next up, now you want to start getting into a habit of applying, and you want to be strategic about it, because at the end of the day, it is a number and timing game. So you want to pick a time in the day that works for you, whether that's early in the morning, in the afternoon, or the evening. And you want to do it consistently every day. And you want to prioritize jobs that are very recent, fairly in the past day or 3 days. And you want to target 30 applications per day. I know that's a big number, but with a lot more effort, you're a lot more likely to get really good results, because 30 applications a day means 200 applications a week and then 800 applications by the end of the month. And with the quality resume, you can definitely get a lot of interviews by the end of the month. Now in step 6, you wanna, if you have been consistently adding your jobs to the tracker, by the end of the month, as we just discussed, you will have 800 or so applications if you stick with this number. And at this point, you wanna look for patterns now. So if you have applied to a lot of applications, but you haven't received any interviews, then that means it's a resume problem. And you will have to roll back all the way to step 1 now and you're gonna have to improve your resume. So it's very likely that you have not spent enough time on building a ATS friendly resume, or you have shared your experience properly. Maybe you don't have enough projects. Maybe your LinkedIn is out of date. Maybe it needs to be updated. So it could be any number of those reasons. So that is why I highly recommend going through the resume positioning resources, or feel free to reach out to me or a colleague or a mentor that you have to make sure you have a really good resume, because by this point you should definitely be getting some interviews. Now, if you are getting interviews but no offers, then it means that it's an interview skills problem, which means that you're not performing well enough in those interviews and you're not nailing them. So it could mean that you don't have enough star format answers on the tip of your fingers. Maybe you don't know how to discuss your experience. Maybe you don't know how to talk about your skills. Maybe you're just getting too nervous in the interviews and you need some live practice. Um, so for any of those, that's where number 7 will really help. You want to focus on on step 7. But in either case, whichever problem you're having, your data will always tell you where you can improve. Um, so really use the tracker well. Now, on to step 7. So now that, assuming you have gone through all these steps properly, you should be getting some interviews now. And at this point, you can shift your focus to improving your performance on these interviews, because you really want to get the job now and conclude this entire process. And so you will find a number of resources in the interview mastery folder over here as well. And in these resources, we go through how to communicate properly. You have a lot of interview questions to practice. And in the calendar here, you'll also find weekly calls where you get to practice those interview questions. So I highly recommend um, utilizing those and getting that practice in so you nail these interviews, because this is really the last step, because you have done all the hard work, you have built your resume, you have applied, you've gotten the interview. Now you just need to do well in the interview to get the um, job offer. So that's actually everything I wanted to cover in this video. And I'm actually going to create a Hiring Cafe series where I'll be sharing my own experience as I apply to these jobs. And I'm going to share how many jobs I'm applying on the tracker, how many of them turn into interview, and the entire process. So stay tuned for some of those videos. And if you are currently applying to jobs, I hope that you give Hiring Cafe a go, because it's a great platform right now, and I hope it really helps you. So wishing you guys the best in your career growth, and thank you so much for watching.